Carolina. He wears number 65, Landon Roop.
Well, I appreciate it, Bill. I always enjoy talking to you.
Let's welcome in Wade Boggs.
Let's bring in Will the Thrill. He's the ace of the staff. Let's welcome in Logan Webb. Logan, how are you today?
I'm doing good. Good to be on here.
Welcome to Extra Innings with Bill Laskey.
Giants sweep the LA Dodgers.
Sponsored by Lunardi's Markets of the Bay Area. Quite simply the best. Right here on your exclusive home of the San Francisco Giants. KNBR, the sports leader.
The 1-2 is strike three called, and the game is over. Caleb Killian gets the final 6 outs, and the Giants in 12 innings have beaten the Washington Nationals 7-6. What a ball game.
Welcome into a Saturday edition of Extra Inning Postgame Show, and boy, an exciting show coming up. Boy, there's so many things to happen in this game that we're going to talk about on defense, on offense, on pitching. But let's just go back in time a little bit. This road trip started last Friday in Baltimore, where they won Friday. They dropped the next 2. They have a day off. They go into Cincinnati. They lose their first 2. They're 1-4 on a road trip, and they're scratching their head wondering, how is this going to turn around? Well, Landon Roop went in that third game, throws a shutout. He goes in with Roop, Walker, Wynn, and Miller, and they end up only giving up 1 hit to the Reds. A little confrontation between teams, and they were off to Washington. And what happened in Washington? A lot of good things with the Lumber. Yesterday they win 10-5, 10 runs on 15 hits yesterday. Everybody in the lineup getting a hit. The top 3 hitters, 7 for 15. And they tried to turn the page today, but they had to come back in this game as they were down 5-1 after 2 innings. It just didn't look good for the orange and black. They turned it around with 2 in the third, 2 in the sixth, 1 in the seventh. They had the lead going into the bottom of the 9th inning, and it just didn't happen. The Washington Nationals tie the game up. They go in extra innings. The 10th inning, ghost runner couldn't score. The 11th inning, ghost runner couldn't score. And then in the 12th inning, Matt Chapman hits a base hit, and Arise scores from second base. So they had to find out if they could put this to bed. And boy, Caleb Killian, just an outstanding 2-inning performance by him, going 2 innings, 1 walk, 2 punch-outs. He threw 17 pitches, 12 for strikes, gets his first major league win, and the Giants prevail in a wild game in Washington, 7-6, 7 runs, 16 hits. Again, they got 31 hits in 2 games. And what's good about this, Giants fans, it just wasn't one guy. We were always talking about who's going to lead this team, who's going to get hot. Well, I can tell you all 9 hitters got hot. They got hot yesterday. They got hot today. And you start looking at some quick numbers here on just the hitters. Adames in the 2-game series, 3 for 10. Arise, 4 for 11. Chapman, 5 for 11. Devers, 2 for 10. Lee, 3 for 10. It keeps going on because here's the next guy. Elliot Ramos, just having a great 2-game series, 2 home runs. He's 4 for 9. You start looking at Susak, who just got 1 at bat. He's still 2 for 6. Gilbert hitting the ball real well. He's 3 for 8. Schmidt, 3 for 10. You see what I'm talking about? Everybody is contributing. And this is what we want to see. This is what we expected. This is the Giant offense that when you look on the papers, when you look at baseball cards, when you look at statistics, what the hell was going on with the Giants? Going into this series, only 9 home runs. They only scored 58 runs in 19 games. This wasn't the team we were looking at. This was not the team we expected. Sure, there's still a couple guys scuffling, but they still chip away. They still make good defensive plays. So many good defensive plays today from Patrick Bailey picking a guy off at third. Matt Chapman with some outstanding defense, throwing a guy at home plate out. Then you look at Adames, who fumbled the ball, made an error. It opened up the game, but then he comes back with bases loaded with 2 outs, tried to get the runner at second, throws a bullet to first to end the inning. It continues. Gilbert with a nice throw from center field to get the guy out at third. This is Giants defense. This is what they can do. And I think what we're seeing here is a team starting to wake up. This clubhouse is excited. This team is excited. We're excited as Giants fans as they win this game 7-6. We'll dive into it a little bit more. 415-808 KNBR. Please get on the phone lines. I want to hear you and what you're thinking about this team. But as we start thinking about what happened in this game, Adrian Hauser went out there and really scuffled. First pitch he throws, James Wood hits a home run. First pitch. And as an ex-pitcher, you're shaking your head going, what the hell just happened? And it continued with the error in the second inning where he had a double play ball. And what happened is Willie Adames missed the ball. Missed it completely. Was looking at the runner, and he fumbled it. First and second, a walk, a fielder's choice, a hits batsman, a base hit, another base hit. And the floodgates open on the Giants as the Nationals scored 4 runs. But they chipped away, as I said, 2 in the third. And it all happened with 2 outs. 3 times in this game, the Giants scored with 2 outs. 9 times at one time, out of 12 at-bats, they got hits with 2 strikes. That's what I'm talking about, adjustments. Adjusting to what you're seeing the ball, going the opposite way. All the things we talked about in all the trials and tribulations this team had when they were scuffling is starting to wake up. And these hitters are waking up. When I threw the numbers to you, that's just in a 2-game series. They got 1 more left. And this could open up more floodgates if they pull this game off tomorrow, which they should, with Robbie Ray on the hill. They walk home off a 9-game road trip, 5-4. That's right, a winning road trip. If they can win this game, they'll be 4 in a row, as they won 3 right now in a row, in a fashion of baseball. Defense, good pitching, good bullpen, and timely hitting. That's what Giants baseball is. Today, the bullpen was stellar. When you looked at Adrian Hauser, after he gave up those runs in the second inning, he shut him out. You start looking at what he did today. In 2 innings, he threw 46 pitches. He went 3 2/3 after that, retiring 9 out of 11 hitters. He only threw 42 pitches. And what happened? He got the changeup over. He got the sinker over. He got a little slider over. But the key was he got ahead of hitters. 0-1. I talk about it so much. In this game, 27 hitters, 18 first pitch strikes, but most of that happened after the second inning. And he was dialed in. 9 pitches in the third, 10 in the fourth, 15 in the fifth before he got taken out in the sixth. He was throwing well. He really got into a nice rhythm with Patrick Bailey using all his pitches. Ryan Barucki comes in a situation to face James Wood with a runner on second base, and he punches him out on a slider. Beautiful pitching by Barucki against the lefty. Eric Miller comes in, throws a shutout 1 inning, punches out 2, throws 15 pitches, 8 for strikes, throwing 96, 97 mile-an-hour fastballs and sinkers. Matt Gage comes in, throws 1 inning, only throws 8 pitches, 6 for strikes. We'll discuss what happens after this at another time in the show, because I was a little perplexed why he didn't go out in the ninth with a lefty leading off, but we'll discuss that later. Ryan Walker comes in and, of course, had trouble in the ninth inning, gives up a double, almost gets out of it, gives up a little base hit up the middle, just an 0-2 pitch down in the zone. The bat had just got enough to hit it out in center field, tied the game up. Gets out of a jam in the 10th inning with bases loaded, punches out 2 and gets a ground ball to short, which Willie Adames tried to get the runner at second, couldn't get him, throws to first, and bam. The fastest runner on the Nationals was jogging to first base. That's right, a fastest runner got thrown out after Adames tried to get the runner at second, threw to first, and got him out at Devers. Will pick the ball. So these are things that happen in this game. So many fast things happen. And when you get into the extra innings, especially with that ghost runner, neither team scored in the 10th or 11th. Nobody even got the runner over at times. But in the 12th inning, Arise was at second, and Chapman got the base hit. And then everything had to go into the bottom of the 12th inning when Caleb Killian put a 1-2-3 inning out there, and the Giants end up winning this game. Such a great game. Such an exciting game. Had you on your seat the whole time, especially in extra innings. That's the fun part about watching baseball. And this Giants team right now is hot. They won 3 in a row. One more game tomorrow with a win, and they go off this road trip with a winning record being 5-4. 415-808 KNBR. Let's get talking some Giants baseball here on a Saturday evening. I got a great show lined up. Alan Stiles is going to join me. Of course, he's up in Sacramento. He works for Sacktown Sports, 1140. We're going to have him on later live. And what do you think? How about this? I have an interview with Killian, which I got in Cincinnati. And it talks about everything that's gone on in his life. A great backstory on Caleb, and that's what a timing. How about that? Killian interview later in the show, and that's a good one. So please stay on. Let's talk some Giants baseball, get on the phone calls, and we're going to take a quick break right here on the Extra Inning Postgame Show with Bill Laskey. More coming up right here on the Sports Leader.
Express Plumbing, a family-owned business, has been servicing the Bay Area for 34 years. Express Plumbing specializes in residential and commercial plumbing, sewer repair, drain cleaning, pipe replacements, vacuum excavation and extraction, water heater installation, and more. Express Plumbing offers 24/7 emergency service. Call 650-341-2131 or visit the website expressplumbing.com. There is no job too small or too big for us.
Do you have old sports cards, memorabilia, comic books, or toys sitting in an attic gathering dust? You want to turn those into cash today? Man Cave Memorabilia pays cash for your collections, but also offers consignment services through their unique partnership with Golden Auctions. If you need a free appraisal or you're ready to sell, head over to mancavememorabilia.com to get started. Oh, and tell the guys Bill Laskey sent you.
Your financial journey is unique, and Pettinelli Financial Partners is here to help you navigate it with confidence. So whether you're building your future or securing your retirement, their team provides lifelong personal guidance every step of the way. Start planning your financial journey today. Learn more at PettinelliFP.com. The financial consultants at Pettinelli Financial Partners are registered representatives with and securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advice offered through Stratus Wealth Partners, a registered investment advisor. Stratus Wealth Partners and Pettinelli Financial Partners are separate entities from LPL Financial.
The game may be over, but we know you want to talk more ball. So KNBR Extra Innings with Bill Laskey continues.
Sponsored by Lenardi's Markets of the Bay Area. Quite simply, the best.
We are KNBR 104.5 and 680, the sports leader.
Batting left-handed, he swings, grounds one right to short. Adames has it, a race to the bag at second. Safe there, now throws to first, and it's in time. They got him at first. Willie Adames initially failed on getting the force out at second, but then fired the ball to first.
Back on Extra Innings with Bill Laskey. That was a play we've been talking about, just a heads-up play. And, of course, that happens in 10th inning after 2 punch-outs. Still bases loaded. A ground ball up the middle. He tried to race to get to second base. He didn't get there, and Willie Adames, with what a heads-up play, fires the first base and gets the third out to push the game into the 11th inning. Some great plays like that, and I think that's what makes this game so special for the Giants to try to turn this season around. Right now, a 3-game win streak with a sweep tomorrow would be nice before they come home and take a day off, and they got a tough homestand with 3 against the Dodgers and 3 against the Marlins. And then they travel again to Philadelphia. So some tough games as they continue to march on here in the month of April. But some things are changing, and I think the changes right now is the offense. Some guys are getting hot, some are staying hot, and I think the whole key is all 9 of them in 2 games in a row all got on base with hits. And that is a key here when you're looking 1 through 9. All right, let's get to the phone calls. Let's go to Mark in San Lorenzo. Mark, you're on an Extra Inning post-game show. A good game by the Giants. They now have won 3 in a row.
Thanks, Phil. Of course, today was a good day. Their first extra inning game of the year, and they came out on top. I saw the excitement in Tony Vitella's, his body language after the game, so they really wanted this one. The good thing is, other people are contributing now, Bill. As we talked before in weeks past, the offense was dead. They weren't producing. And being on the road, we talked about this in the past, the Giants are a better offensive team when they're on the road for some reason. I wish it could be that way at home. But unfortunately, the offensively, they don't really put it together at home like they do on the road. And on this road trip, there's been games where they haven't been able to hit the ball, and there's been other games where they have. And today was a complete effort by the whole tete. So many different guys contributed.
It sure was, Mark. And I'm going to stop you right there because there's been 2 games in a row, and then they shut out Cincinnati that final game, and they still got 6 hits, 3 runs on 6 hits. But yesterday and today, you saw a lot better of adjustments, 2 strikes. At one time, 9 hits out of 11 of the hits they had at one time were all on 2 strikes. And I think that just shows you cutting the swing down, putting the ball in play matters. They still punched out 11 times, but in the long run, they ended up getting 16 hits today. And, of course, Elliot Ramos is coming out of his fog yesterday and today, just dominating at the plate. And I loved what Dave Fleming said on the TV broadcast. Here's a guy that was sitting the bench, and 3 games later, they're intentionally walking him, and that's how fast this game can change.
That's awesome. And I was listening to the radio guys today, and they were excited. It was very tense in extra innings. I thought for sure they were going to lose the game when Washington loaded the bases in the 10th, nobody out. And they got Walker on the mound, and I'm thinking, this is it. All it's going to take is a fly ball to the outfield. The runner's going to score from third, and this game is over. He struck out the first two guys, and then I believe he got the other guy to I don't know, I can't remember what the third guy did, but that was huge, Bill, to
that
get
was
out
the
of the
ground
11th
ball.
inning.
That was a ground ball to
12th.
Adames. We just played it, Mark, where he tried to get the runner at second, and the runner that hit the ball, Vivas, wasn't even running to first base, and he was the fastest runner on this team. He's got 7 stolen bases, and it just didn't matter at that time because it was such a great play by Adames, a heads-up play where he tried to race to the bag, and then he threw to first base because he didn't get him, and he walks off the field at the third out, and Walker did his job with bases loaded, punching out the first 2, and he came back with some fire, man. He all of a sudden he lit up with bases loaded, and Bailey and him really put some good at-bats in, going in on the lefties and then frailing away because there was a 3-2 pitch. He got Nunez on, and that sinker was away. They were going to go back in, and the thing tailed around the outside corner. That was a second strikeout. But some good pitching at times. Caleb Killian came in and just shut the door the last 2 innings. But at times it was good. In the beginning of the game, man, I just couldn't figure out Adrian Hauser. He just couldn't get anybody out in the first couple innings. The missed double play really hurt him.
But, Bill, it didn't hurt him to the point because Washington didn't score from the second inning till the 9th when they tied it up. And your man Hauser, I didn't get to watch the game in the early innings, but he hung in there till the 6th. That's awesome. That's what you want from him. And the game was basically tied in the 6th. Out here, wasn't it tied by the 6th or something like that? It was tied up.
No, they took the lead after the 6th inning. There was up, it was 5-5 after 6. They took the 1 run in the 7th inning to take the lead. But you're talking about Hauser from the 3rd inning till the 8th inning. Through the 8th inning, the Giants only gave up 3 hits, and they shut down the Nationals' offense completely. And that was really Hauser, Baruki, Miller, Gage. Those guys were just on fire, throwing, quality strikes, getting ahead of hitters, nothing over, 15 pitches, Eric Miller punching out 2. You look at what Matt Gage did, 8 pitches, 6 for strikes. This is what I think what you're starting to see now, Mark. You're seeing a little bit more of the bullpen in place, and I think that's what Tony Vitello is starting to see, who he can go to in leverage situations.
Absolutely. Bill, Gilbert throwing the guy out at third from center was another tremendous play. I like that kid. He got a key hit early in the game today to tie the score. Mm-hmm. I like him in center field. Play him. They need to play new guys, different guys. Keep the line
I think
moving.
so, and I think the bottom of the lineup, Mark, when you're looking at Ramos, Gilbert, I mean, those guys had 5 hits. Jung-Hoo Lee had a couple hits early in the game. You're talking about 7 hits. By 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Even go back at Schmidt, he had 2. Everybody really contributed, and I think that's what we've been waiting for from this offense. Drew Gilbert, there's no question. I thought he was going to make the team out of spring training, but he got injured, and that was one of the hard things. He was left behind to get physically fit. Going to Sacramento, he did exactly what he was supposed to. Go out there and play, hit over 300. He is a staple in this lineup, especially at the bottom of the order.
Good for him. And the bullpen, Bill, we talked about the bullpen early in the year. You said they didn't know their identity yet. What was their identity? Well, now in the month of April, it's starting to come together. We're seeing the role players. And Miller wanted to go at it with that guy from Cincinnati the other night, and that fires them up. That brings unity to the
think
bullpen,
so,
right? They get an
I think
identity.
that was part of it. Coming on that plane, it took them, some energy getting off that plane, and the offense just exploded. They got to win one more game. If they can top this road trip off by winning tomorrow against Miles Mikolas, which they could. This guy's really struggling ever since he put a national uniform on. If they get to him early and get back to that bullpen's pretty wore out for the Nationals. They've been out there for 2 days now. So we'll see how it turns around, Mark, but a lot of great points on my leadoff call today. Let's go to Bob. He's in Saratoga. Bob, you're on an extra inning post-game show. How are you today?
Okay, Bill. The worry for the last couple of months has been the bullpen, and they're amazingly doing so much better. So hats off to the bullpen coach and to the manager and everybody that's helping these guys because they're starting to gel. And it's torture sometimes, like Dwayne Kuyper used to call it, But at the same time, they're so much better. And then all the hitting's better again, except Devers. And I saw an article in the Mercury News where they broke down the fact that he's swinging a lot of pitches out of the zone, and more than last year, and he's also walking less, and a walk's a hit. So I think I know you made a really good suggestion about him trying to hit to left field. I don't know whether that gets through to the batting coach or to him, but at the same time, I think that's a really good idea. And
well,
and
Bob, the big thing about it, why I said it, you see the ball more. You see the ball in the zone more, and you have an opportunity to go the opposite way. That's why when you see a Matt Chapman or even Luis Arise does it so well, and he literally sometimes pushes his hand going, I got to go that way, and he waits on a pitch, and then the last second goes the opposite way. Devers is swing so hard, it's hard for him to do that. When he was with Boston, man, he wore out the Green Monster, and he should be doing that a little more. He got a nice key hit today in the seventh inning to dropping a base hit after 2 outs. Scores Adames after a great pass ball was underneath the catcher, and he got to second base. A couple fly balls, and Devers ended up get the base hit to get that RBI, which was a big run. There's going to be a time when he's going to get hot. I think so, Bob. It's just he needs to just calm down a little bit. Don't put the whole team on his shoulders and just slowly come out of it. 2 for 3, 3 for 4. I would love to see him do that tomorrow.
Well, if he can hit the left field and walk more, that's going to be a big improvement. Just those two things.
I think so. And I think, you always talk about him, Bob, and you talk about such a great hitter, and he is. He's a proven big league hitter, a proven big-time hitter in big situations. We just haven't seen it yet. And a lot of time left, but we still got him for 162 games, and I think that in the long run is going to show as the season progresses.
Oh, we need him. We need him, yeah. Okay, thanks,
Well, thanks,
Bill.
Bob. I appreciate your call. Let's go to Sacramento and talk to Nick. Nick, you're on an extra inning post-game show. Good game today so far, 3 games in a row as wins.
You know, Bill, I was watching the TV side of it, and after the fiasco of the second inning, the guys were saying, this Giants hitting team is different. Like, now they feel like they're still in it. And, that's the way I felt. Like, it's the first game that I felt like after giving up 5 runs, they still had a shot. This is the first game I felt that way. Really?
Yeah, and I think it's changing. I think that's you're not the only fan that thinks that same way, Nick. I think all of us do. Because you're seeing better at bats. You're seeing guys in the middle of the order as well as the base of the order, the 7, 8, 9 hitters getting on base. We didn't see that. When Jung-Hoo Lee and Elliot Ramos were consistent outs, now they've turned it around. When you look at Jung-Hoo Lee, 3 for 10 in 2 games in Washington. Elliot Ramos, we're seeing what we knew what he could do. And Elliot, 4 for 9 with 2 home runs and a couple of key hits. So if these 2 guys start contributing, that's the base of the order. Casey Schmidt now looks like he's going to be your DH. He's hitting the ball well. It's just move the line, continue to keep adding runs, and that's what they did today. They did it yesterday also.
Oh, and I also want to talk about 2 other things. The first one being Adames' error in the second, not letting it get to him, and then coming through big time in that 10th inning. He was needed. And that also leads to my second point, where taking advantage of the mental errors on the base pass that the Nationals had. Those 2 running mistakes.
And I think you're talking about the play with Drew Gilbert throwing a guy out at third when Wood was scoring. I mean, he didn't even slide at third base, which helped the Giants. And it was a close call at home. The Giants really did a replay to see if Wood hit home plate before the guy I was out at third. This is a very young team the Nationals have, and those little mistakes add up. When you go back to what Adames did, you're absolutely right. He was looking at the runner. He didn't watch the ball into the glove. The next thing you know, he kicked it. And really it hurt Hauser, I thought. Hauser was trying to get a nice, easy inning. It seemed like every hitter, the first leadoff hitter for the first 3 innings, everybody got on base. And as a pitcher, you want to try to get in a nice rhythm. I think what helped Hauser today was when Patrick Bailey picked off the runner at third, Lilly, and that was a huge inning for the Giants because it kind of changed it a little bit. The Giants had scored 2 in the top of the third to make it 5-3, and then a double by Lilly. They get him over to third on a bunt, and then Bailey picks him off, And from there on, Adrian Hauser caught second wind. He threw the ball extremely well after that.
You know, and this game proves that you can survive the physical errors, you just can't survive the mental ones. The Giants had physical, the Nationals had a couple physical ones, but you know what? When you play mentally good baseball, you end up winning most of the time in comparison.
Yeah. And you're right, Nick, you're absolutely right about mental mistakes. As long as it doesn't cause you to make another one after it. And you made a valid point there. Willie Adames messed up. He knew it. He had his head down. But then he comes back and makes that dynamic play in the 10th inning. But he played good defense the whole game after that. It was more of a rush. I think he was looking at the runner, looking at the ball, thinking, I can get the ball, tag second, and still make the throw at first. And he took his eye off the ball, and it hit him in the heel, and then he kicked it. A tough error, a tough mental error also on top of it. But the Giants didn't frail from there. They ended up giving 4 runs that inning, but they came back and took the lead. And I think you said it in the beginning, this is something the Giants need to do more often. Get behind, battle back, win a game. It makes so much bigger confidence with this team. And, you know, you look at 1 through 9, 2 games in a row, every hitter's got on base with a hit.
Absolutely. You know what? Let's keep it riding through the next week.
They need to. They got some tough opponents coming when they come home. So far on the road, they're 6-5. If they win tomorrow, they could be 7-5. They got to change the direction at home. They're only 3-7 at Oracle with the Dodgers coming in and the Marlins coming in. And the Marlins got a tough team this year. They've changed their direction and they're playing good baseball. But let's keep this riding. I'm right there with Nick. Get a win and get on that flight. 5-4. That would be a great turnaround on a 9-game road trip. Thanks, Nick, for your call. All right, we're going to take a quick break on the Extra Inning Postgame Show. More callers. Stay right there. We're going to come right back and talk more Giants baseball right here on KNBR, the sports leader.
Looking for solar and storage but thought you missed the tax credit? Think again. With PG&E rates climbing, Golden Bear Solar and Wildfire Defense System of Los Gatos is here to help you lock in the 30% federal tax credit that's still available. Our premier solar and battery systems don't just slash bills. They keep your lights on during blackouts. Protect your home and your wallet before the next rate hike. Contact us at goldenbearsolar.com.
Handcrafted in the Bay Area of California, Birdman Bats offer some of the finest, highest quality wood baseball bats and gloves in the world. Stand out this season on or off the diamond with our infinite options of customization at birdmanbats.com. Turn your visions into reality with our online bat and glove builder, and check out all the other gear we offer as well. All available at birdmanbats.com. Birdman Bats. Chirp, chirp.
Thatcher's Gourmet Popcorn is the very best popcorn established in Northern California since 1983. They offer some great flavors: caramel corn, cheddar cheese, kettle corn, and much more specialty popcorn. Thatcher's would like to offer 5 special listeners of the Extra Innings postgame show a chance to win a gift from Thatcher's Popcorn. All you need to do is send an email with your name, address, and phone number with your favorite flavor of popcorn to contest at THATCHERSpopcorn.com. Bill will announce next weekend the winners with more contests to follow.
All right, welcome back to Extra Innings. As you just heard, Thatcher's Popcorn, my new sponsor, is a fantastic sponsor. And they do a great popcorn, of course, a specialty popcorn. You see it in many different stores. They want to throw you the contest. So all you got to do is email contest at thatcherspopcorn.com. And that's Thatcher's, THATCHERS, thatcherspopcorn.com. All you got to do is send an email, put your favorite popcorn on, make sure you put your name, address, telephone number on it, and they're going to select some valuable extra inning recipients, and they're going to send you a nice gift. So it's a great little gift that Thatcher's throwing out there. So please take advantage of it. It's contest at thatcherspopcorn.com. Send them an email, and you might get a nice surprise from Thatcher's Popcorn. All right, let's get back to the phone lines, 415-808-KNBR. Let's go out to Lake Merced and talk to my buddy, Big Sam. Big Sam, big win today, 3 in a row. What'd you think?
Oh, man. Just, you know what? The vibe on your show today is not, there's no anguish. There's no anger. It's vibrant. Mm-hmm. And I think by you bringing and your leadership on the show and what you bring to the pipes and the mic, the callers will call. People will get happier. They won't be too happy, but they'll be happier. So we're kind of on the same wavelength on this, and there's no bickering. I think it's going to take continued wins. And
yes,
let me tell you something, and a God honest truth. Your callers are well astute, and they know who's behind the mic, so they bring it. You don't have any bad callers. So, we try to emulate, and set the example and set the tone and be good callers for the game of baseball that people love. So
and you know what, Sam? They're Giants fans. They're Giants fans. And when you lose, you want to know why. And that's what I bring it out. I explain it. I explained it from a mentality of a big league pitcher, and I explain the pitching part, the hitting part, the defensive part. And today, a little bit of everything, Sam. That was the key about this game. They didn't give up when they were down 5-1. They chipped away, took the lead. And when they lost the lead in the bottom of the ninth, it looked like they were scrapping a little bit in the dugout, but they didn't give up. And I think that's the whole key on this game today, to go 12 innings, round and round with the Nationals, and to pull it out in the 12th inning in their ballpark, and to win 2 in a row with a possibility of a sweep tomorrow. Oh, those boys are going home tonight thinking about it.
You never want, and those are all great points. You never want that Bruce Lee kick to the throat and you're down and multiple people have to come to your aid and save you. That's sometimes the feeling, but that's part of the game, and you grind and chip away. Now, we talked about this when the season opened. If they could finish in the month of April, they've got 10 games remaining. If they can somehow muster at like 16-14 or even 15-15, I will take that and walk away, because I know that team that and we talked about the gives and take backs and the takeaways. You're bringing guys in that, you know what, someone's cold, and we're talking colder than a cold shower cold. You got to bring in that Gilbert. You got to bring in that Susak. I like Pat Bailey, great behind the dish, but if he's hitting 1 for 30, then you got to make some changes.
And I think he did that. I really, at one point before they brought Susak in, my first thought he was going to get Koss up to bunt. That's what my first thought was before you use Susak to hit. I thought he was going to bring Koss in to bunt him over to third, but he just went right to Susak and he flied out. There was a couple of things that I was a little deceiving in my mind when Matt Gage didn't come out to face the lefty in the ninth inning when he put Walker in, Jorbert Vivas, a left-hander who ended up going the opposite way and Walker for the double. I thought at that time he should have left Gage in for one more hitter, the lefty, and then he could have brought Walker in. And that was the controversial part, I thought, in that ninth inning. You didn't have to go to Walker immediately. Gage only threw 8 pitches, and it was a quick 1-2-3 inning. And I'm like, leave him out there for the lefty. So what if they pinch hit a right-hander? Then you just let Gage go against a right-hander. But I thought jumping right to Walker right now, hey, he's not automatic. But you see what Matt Gage did in that 8th inning. He was on fire today. He's been pitching consistently well out of the bullpen, as well as Eric Miller, the 2 lefties.
And Bill, we're not going to Mr. Johnson, or we're not going to knock on Larry Bear's door and say you've got zillion trillions, go get us a closer, because they can figure this out. And lastly, you run, let's say, a great Greek or Italian restaurant, and it's a 2-medallion Michelin star, and you got a brand new chef that's just learning that trade, and he can't get it, but he's a good young talent. And I'm kind of comparing not apples and oranges, but kind of mastering the craft of maybe running an most amazing restaurant where you got this young. And it's going to be this way all season long, where you have that young chef, and that chef is going to only get better and better as the season progresses.
And Sam, opportunities with these guys, you're going to find out who's got the cojones in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. And you know what I'm talking about, a guy that's not going to go out there and just try to aim the ball. No, you're going to go out there with your best stuff and throwing it at 96, 97. Caleb Killian has just got another chance to pitch in the big leagues. He scuffled when he was with the Cubs. He was disappointed when he got traded to the Giants to the Cubs. I got him in a great interview later in the show. You're going to understand who this kid's about and what he wants to do with the Giants. He loves pitching here, and he loves to be back with the Giants. And you can see what he's trying to do. He's improved his pitches. He's improved his knuckle curveball. He's improved his off-speed pitches, and he's been working at it. And now he's got a craft that he can use 3, maybe 4 pitches at any time of the count and be comfortable and confident in it. You'll hear him when I talk to him about it later in the show.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for that interview. And lastly, Bill, I think, and it's early, but I think this kid that's on the mound, that wants to prove a point, that has a chance to win you 10 to 12 big ones, is none other than one Landon Roop. And I think he's going to be a key critical factor in trying to get a lead, because right now you're not catching L.A. and you're not catching San Diego, but make a sustainable push to, let's say, the summer, and then they'll figure it out. That's my time, Bill. Thank you.
Good point. Sam, thanks for the call. It's always a pleasure talking to you. Let's go to San Francisco and talk to Mike. Mike, a good game today. One more for the sweep. See if they can win 4 in a row before they come home to a tough homestand. What'd you think today, Mike?
Hey, Bill, what a win. First thing I thought today, Bill, was when I saw James Wood up there, I was saying, why were we trying to trade for C.J. Abrams in the offseason and not James Wood?
Yeah.
He's got 5 homers off us now, Bill.
He's got 7 home runs on the year already. He's a dynamite player, superstar. And so is C.J. Abrams. He was another guy that, of course, earlier in the offseason, you just touched on it, Mike. Buster Posey was trying to trade for him to be that everyday second baseman. They wanted too much for him, and they moved on. And I still think we got a pretty damn good second baseman right now with Luis Arraez.
Arraez is my favorite at bat.
It is.
But what I called about today was Caleb Killian. I got a little backstory. I did watch him a lot in the minors for the Giants, and this was like 2021, and we traded him for Walker. Not Walker Buehler. I wanted Walker Buehler.
No, Chris Bryant you traded him for. Chris Bryant was who he traded him for, and he was pitching really well. He was in Double-A when that happened. He came out of Texas Tech. He's got some great information on the whole trade and what he was doing. I don't want to give up the whole interview, but, he's a guy that's getting a second chance, and he's not giving it up. Very religious guy. Nothing wrong with that. I love talking to guys that are very religious and they thank God about everything they do. And that's a spirit in him. You heard it on the postgame show. They asked him, what about this and what about this? And the first thing he said, I want to thank God for being there with me. And that's the religion part about a lot of athletes, and not just baseball, in sports altogether. And you'll hear it when I talk to him, and you'll hear him talk about it and where he comes from and how his family is maneuvered and different things about him. And that's what I love about, Mike, you hear a lot of my interviews. When I talk to guys that aren't the first stringers, aren't the major stars, and you find out what cooks, what makes them a big league player. And today you'll hear about Caleb Killian, and the next thing you know, he might be your closer out of his bullpen.
I am looking forward to that. And just want to add that, Chicago only gave him 8 games played over those 3 years he was with them. He's got 11 games played for us already this year. And I think he should be, if not the closer by committee. I'm very comfortable with him and Miller and even our man, can't remember his name.
Matt Gage?
But Matt Gage could close, and the fourth one would be
I think he's good in that 7th and 8th inning role. I think he's the perfect guy in that 7th and 8th inning to get a lefties out. I think he's been throwing really well. Only gave up 1 run so far, and that was a home run. I do believe it was in Baltimore when he gave it up. But after that, he's been putting zeros on the board.
Yeah, he had an incredible spring, too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all I really wanted to talk about tonight.
Well, thanks for calling today, Mike. It's a pleasure, and tomorrow we'll see if they can close the door and get a sweep and come home with a winning record. But always a pleasure talking to you, Mike. Let's go out to Berkeley and talk to Andrea. Andrea, the Giants are playing good baseball finally, and some offense is finally putting some big numbers up. How are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
Well, I'm just watching how this team is starting to open up, Andrea, and I think that's what all Giants fans have been waiting for, especially on the offense.
Yes. I mean, talk about playing with a lot more fire. It was a new moon in Aries when the Giants and the Reds had that dust up at the end of the game. So they're definitely playing with a lot more fire. And Tony Vitello said today it was one where the baseball guys, they weren't going to let us lose today because there were several moments where we could have. So he has some interesting perspective there, and he was going at it with fellow Libra Drew Gilbert. I got a kick out of that. Drew Gilbert, September 27, 2000, Tony, October 9, 1978. So there's a lot of playfulness, a lot of fire, 3 wins in a row. And, back to the offense, Elio Ramos, 2 home runs in 2 days. We'll take that.
The point of that, Andrea, too, is Elliott got benched, if you remember this. They benched him, and they put Brennan in the left field, and it's a wake-up call. And I think what it did was made him concentrate a little bit more, relax a little bit. He was swinging at elevated fastballs, sliders in the dirt, and it wasn't Elliott Ramos that we knew, the confident. And once he hit that home run yesterday, and he started pounding on his chest like Tarzan, it opened him up. And I really think it just exploded with confidence. He comes up to each at bat now, and you're like, oh, he's on fire. And man, he 3 hits today, 3 nice at bats, and even the balls that he hit deep in the right field and left field made awesome contact. Yesterday he went 1 for 4, 3 balls on the warning track. This is what we're expecting out of Elliott Ramos.
Yes, I mean, fellow Virgo, September 7th, 1999, and when he doesn't do well, you can rest assured he's being really hard on himself. So it's really good to see him do well and get 2 home runs in 2 days and celebrate, and just a lot of good momentum, a lot of positive energy in the dugout. Fellow Sagittarius, Ryan Walker, November 26, 1995. So it really was a team effort, and it was just really great to see them win. And hopefully they'll get a win tomorrow. Won't get ahead of ourselves, but it was exciting, that extra innings. It was.
Well, let's hopefully, Andrea,
there.
we can get a win tomorrow and have a fun day Sunday. Those are always fun shows, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. Robbie Ray on the hill, a positive starting pitcher, probably the best pitcher the Giants have been going out there with, consistent stuff, and what he brings to the table tomorrow is a lot of confidence, and I think those are the things as a starting pitcher. You want to go in there tomorrow, put a 0 on the board. Hopefully you get to Mikolas. He's been struggling, and open this game up where it's an easier game for the Giants to win. And they have Monday off, and then they come in and play the Dodgers. That's going to be a tough series, as we know how good the Dodgers are. But we'll find out, Andrea, and all we can do is hope for the best and see if they win tomorrow. But I appreciate your call today. Thank you again. All right, we're going to take a quick break and bring in Alan Stiles. Of course, he's up in Sacramento. He's a drive guy kind of guy. He works 2 to 6 on 1140 Sports. And we're going to talk more Giants baseball with Alan Stiles. He's coming up next right here on the Extra Inning Postgame Show. On the run? Take a look at what Lenardi's has to offer. Lenardi's full-service deli offers a great selection of hot foods to go. Savory soups made fresh daily with quality ingredients, fried chicken, meatloaf, salads, sandwiches, and more. Check out Lenardi's weekly menu selection at www.lenardis.com or stop by one of Lenardi's markets, 8 convenient locations. Burlingame, San Bruno, Belmont, Los Gatos, 2 in San Jose, 1 on Bascom, 1 on Meridian, Walnut Creek, and Danville. Lenardi's, quite simply, the best.
Does your dog enjoy playtime with other dogs? Have your dog enjoy the fun at WAG Hotels. WAG Hotels offers overnight care, daycare, training, and grooming for your pet. The best part is WAG Hotels are open 24/7, 365 days a year. Guests at WAG Hotels enjoy fun, engaging activities throughout their stay. WAG Hotels have a well-trained and caring staff that will treat your pet like it's their own. If you want the best for your pet while you're away for the day or on vacation, bring them to WAG Hotels, with locations in Northern and Southern California. Visit waghotels.com for more information.
We all believe a good fastball is what you need to pitch in the big leagues, but it's all about location. The Handler Union Square Hotel in the heart of the city by the bay is the answer. I'm not throwing you a curveball. The Handler Union Square Hotel has an outdoor swimming pool, fresh open-air windows, and much, much more. Call 800-995-HUSH or go online at handlery.com, enter promo code Laskey for parking included. That's 800-995-HUSH. It's a winner.
You're listening to the former Giants righty. It's KNBR Extra Innings with Bill Laskey.
Sponsored by Lenardi's Markets of the Bay Area. Quite simply, the best.
Heard on your Apple HomePod by saying play KNBR.
All right, back on the Extra Inning postgame show. Giants win today in 12 innings, 7-6. They take the first two games of a 3-game series against the Washington Nationals. Tomorrow, first pitch, 10:35 a.m. Get your coffee out. Final game of a 9-game road trip where the Giants are now 4-4. Robbie Ray takes the hill tomorrow, 2-2 with a 2.4 earned run average. And Miles Mikolas, you remember him, 7 years he pitched with the Cardinals. He is struggling with the Washington Nationals. He's 0-3 with 11.5 earned run average. A guy that they got to mount an attack early on and get some early runs. So we'll talk more about it with my friend now from Sacktown. He works on a sports station, 1140. Let's welcome in Alan Stiles. Alan, good evening. How are you?
Bill, I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
Pleasure to have you on. I follow you on Twitter, of course. It's X. You can follow Alan also, the _Stiles Files. You do a great job covering the Giants. So far, when you look at this team, 9-12 doesn't really tell you a lot for the last 3 or 4 games. What have you seen so far in this team?
Yeah, I've seen a team that has been able to do different things, but they haven't put it all together yet throughout the season. I know it's a young season, but we've seen them come out hot in the first game and then not do much the rest of the series. We've seen them not do much to start a series and then end the series on a high note. So it's really more so about, can you put it all together? And that's why I think tomorrow is a big deal for a lot of people, including myself. Can they take what happened in Cincinnati with the scuffle as they argued about chili on spaghetti or whatever the problem was, and turn this into, a really strong sweep and a good end to the road trip? So it's just about putting everything together, and they haven't done it yet. But again, it's still really early, and we've seen some flashes, Bill. So it's been nice we know this team is going to have to hit, and it's been nice to see the bats wake up the most as of late.
Do you feel the addition of Drew Gilbert and a couple like Susak and a couple other guys getting opportunities to change the direction with the team? Because it seemed like Tony Vitello stuck with those same 9 guys. It seemed like every time you were waiting for somebody off the bench, nope, he was kicking the game, same guy, same lineup. And then all of a sudden he changed it. And I think now he's starting to see he's got to use his whole bench. I still think Koss could have came in a couple opportunities today, maybe bun a guy over. He hasn't used him that well yet, but he's still got a couple weapons in Encarnacion, and maybe, this could be opening up some more opportunities for the bench.
Yeah, and I'm not necessarily going to put it on Tony Vitello because it feels like this was an organizational decision. I know Buster Posey not too long ago was on your airwaves on KNBR talking about how, hey, we're going to roll the same 9 guys out there, and we don't know how much we're going to use pinch hitters, and we don't know how much we're going to switch things up, which is so interesting because in the years past, it feels like the team has been the complete opposite of that, and we've wanted more consistency. But I think this consistency, I guess they committed to it a little too soon without knowing what was going to happen. Harrison Bader in a lot of circles would be known as a really good 4th outfielder, and you're running him out there every day as an everyday guy, and maybe he turns it on for you. But the guys that they have and the players that they decided to go with, I don't think it's a strong enough group to sit there and say, we can count on these 9 players every single day.
You're absolutely right, Alan. And, yesterday I on my postgame show, I talked about the leadoff hitter, Adames, Arise, Chapman, the top 3 guys in the lineup where you got to rely on the veterans to get this thing going. Yesterday, they go 7 for 15. Today, again, they get 5 hits out of 18 at-bats. They're still getting production from them, but I really think that's where the top of the order has to come through a little bit more than what we've seen so far.
Yeah, and I'm very, very happy with what we've seen from Willy Adames. He's hit anywhere from 1, 2, or 3. I know he had the error today, but, in a way he made up for it on the on the defensive side and offensive side. But I really like what I've seen from Willie Adames, Luis Arias as well. I know he's not, one of the guys that they're committed to long term, but Willie Adames and Matt Chapman. Matt Chapman is a guy who it feels like, Bill, every time you're ready to check Matt Chapman's numbers, you know what? It feels like Matt Chapman hasn't gotten a hit in a while. He has a very timely hit, and it's exactly what the doctor ordered for the Giants. So the elephant in the room right now is Rafi Devers. He had a huge hit today at an RBI, so maybe that can spark him. But, yeah, you're right. I mean, this team is going to go as those guys go, and that's because the Giants are committed to them in this way. And to see some of the other guys, we got to, I guess, throw Jung-Hoo Lee in there as well. He's been red hot. So when the guys that have those bigger contracts do start to turn things around for you, surprise, surprise, everything starts to loosen up.
Alan Stile joins me on the Extra Inning Postgame Show. You can hear him up in Sacktown Sports 1140 on the Drive Guys. Does a great job up there and really follows the Giants. You do a fantastic job in breaking down these games, Alan. And, you talk about this offense. And in the beginning of the year, it seems like nobody was hitting. It kept going 1 through 9. You'd have 1 hit, 2 hits. But now everybody's hitting. Everybody in the lineup yesterday and today has got on base with a hit. And I think that just precludes what's going to happen next. One guy doesn't do it, the next guy's got to pick him up. That's how you win championships. That's how you get on a winning streak. And that's what they've done the last 3 games.
Yeah, and, I got to tip my cap to Casey Schmidt, because there have been a lot of conversations with Giants of the past, and I've been a part of some of those conversations when you say, well, they didn't get consistent playing time, or maybe if they had played every day, you could look at what they've done differently. But Casey Schmidt, Bill, it doesn't matter if there's rain, sleet, or snow, if he hasn't played in 3 days, if he just played yesterday, that dude can hit. And I know a lot of people are starting to wonder, well, what happens when they pull Bryce Eldridge up? That is not an issue that that I am even wasting my time with right now, because if Casey Schmidt is going to hit like this, he's going to be in the lineup. And that would be a great problem to have. It's funny how everything escalates so quickly. Oh, man, are we going to have to sit a hot hitter? We should be so lucky, Bill, that the Giants would have to sit a red-hot hitter. We are not there yet, but hopefully that is a problem that we have. But like you said, guys stepping up and doing it in a lot of different spots. Daniel Susac, what more can you say about him? He's another guy I know a lot of fans are high on. But, yeah, they're just getting a lot of production from where you wouldn't expect. But now if you start to get production from where you would expect, that's where this thing can really gain some momentum.
Alan, you really bring up Casey Schmidt, and on this road trip, he was hot as hell in Baltimore. He went 7 for 13. Then he goes into Cincinnati thinking, hey, he's going to continue his hot streak. He goes 1 for 10. And I'm like, what's going on? But now he gets to Washington, hits a home run yesterday's game. He goes 2 for 5. Today, another nice day from him, 2 for 6. And now, he's gauging right back in there. I love when he goes to right field. He pushed the ball to right field for a base hit later in this game. But he also drives that ball inside. A couple balls under his chin a couple times, but he kind of stands on top of the plate. Do you notice that?
Yeah, and they were talking about it on the broadcast as well, how he dives in a little bit, and that can put him in a position where he does get hit. But it also kind of speaks to how fast his hands are, and it explains why he's able to go the other way so well. I don't think that's a surprising part, but to your point, still being able to get your hands in and get inside the baseball on those inside pitches when you are kind of moving towards the plate, it's just a testament to, the, I guess, quick twitch muscles that he has and his ability really to identify pitches extremely early. And look, Bill, you can get in the weight room and you can get as strong as you want, but there are just some things that you can't teach. And the ability to recognize pitches early, that's something that you can get better at, but some people have it, some people don't, and Casey Schmidt definitely has it.
So, Alan, tell me what the hell happened to Elliot Ramos when he hit to Washington, because all of a sudden he woke up and Elliot Ramos is now hitting bombs. They're intentionally walked him today, and all of a sudden we got a left fielder that is playing with a smile on his face.
Yeah, and it can happen so quickly. Life comes at you fast, as they say, and everybody was ready to ship him off or, he has no trade value if he can't hit, and who are we going to put in left field? Bryce Eldridge needs to go to left field. It's funny, Bill. I'm curious your thoughts on when you quote unquote panic about a hitter or panic when a hitter is not playing well. And obviously Devers is in a different conversation because he's established. But somebody like Elliot Ramos, somebody like Jung-Hoo Lee, there are a lot of different philosophies out there. Some people say the end of May. Some people say 100 at-bats. They say different things to where, okay, if we get to this benchmark and we haven't seen anything, now it's time to worry. So these guys are close. Last time I checked, I think they're all floating around 70 at-bats now. Yeah. But it is still fairly early to make any sweeping decisions on who a player is going to be. And Elliot Ramos, I think, was just finding his footing. Every year is going to be different, Bill. Every season, that better than anyone. And when you go from, okay, here's my breakout season, nobody saw me coming. A lot of times people discuss a sophomore slump. There's a scouting report on you. You're an all-star coming in from the last season. What are you going to do? Elliot Ramos still put up 20 home runs. Now coming into this season, hey, you broke the Barry Bonds streak of different left fielders. You're our guy now. So that's another thing that he had on his plate. So, a lot of times when these guys come into different situations in their career, there's going to be a little bit of transition. Now, fans, we don't like that. And we want everything to happen immediately like we're playing a video game, but that's not the case. And I think we're seeing that with Elliot Ramos. Obviously, it's still early, but he looks so much more comfortable. Maybe there was a conversation with a teammate, something like that, but he woke up and he said, all right, enough is enough. Let me remind everybody who I am.
That voice you hear on the Extra Inning Postgame Show, Alan Stiles, does a great podcast, Locked on Giants, and you can follow that at LO_SF Giants. Does a great job, man. You do a really good job with the Giants. But I want to go back to a little bit about the World Baseball. And I brought this up yesterday about Logan Webb because he was so down on himself after the game and he gets the win. And he was really saying that I'm really putting my team in a bad position every time I go out there. Well, the guy is such a good pitcher. That's why he does it. But do you think, and I'm going to go back to that Elliot Ramos. He played there. There was a lot of pressure on him in his playing for his country. Things happen mentally and physically. Do you think that had something to do with his slow start?
I'm just not sure that we can say either way, but if I had to make a decision, I'd say you have to take that into account. I don't know what percentage I would give it, but you would have to take it into account because to your point, it's not just about what happened on the field. Let us not forget you had the whole situation with Mark DeRosa and did they know they were going to get eliminated or not? Logan Webb was answering questions about that. I know everyone was, but Logan Webb at one point had a quote, obviously we care about the World Baseball Classic and what's going on. So this is stuff that he would never normally have to bring up or talk about as he's preparing for a really big season for the Giants. So I think as much as, it could be the physical aspect, and we know that he didn't really pitch any more innings or that much more than he would have pitched if he just had stayed and done spring training. But it's the other side of it where he's answering questions, he's traveling, he's doing different things that I think you have to take into account. I guess my question that I've asked myself is, at what point do you stop thinking about it? Right now he's 5 starts into the season. Did it affect him that much? I don't think so. And here's the last thing I'll say about that, Bill. You're talking about the Baseball Classic. I'd also throw in Netflix Thursday. That was a really weird night. So he goes from World Baseball Classic, then he's got Netflix Wednesday night or opening night, whatever it was. And then after that, he has a first normal start. So I think it was a collection of things, and we're not, making excuses for him per se. We'll see. But yeah, it was not, nobody could say it was a typical offseason from Logan Webb. And last but not least, he's got a show that just started, I think, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
or a
he
week
did.
Or so ago.
I think it was last week he did it. Sure. Well, it's good for him.
He's got a lot going on. Yeah,
he
good
does.
for him. It was a lot going on for him this offseason for sure.
Well, he's in your backyard. He grew up in Rockland, up in Sacramento,
Yeah.
and same thing with Susac. I mean, I loved somebody put it up on X, known as Twitter. They had Interstate 80, and they had both of them standing on the sign. I thought it was very creative. Both of them were on course yesterday with the battery mates. So I want to see a little bit more of that with Susac. And I think what Tony V said, maybe a couple days ago, he wants to divide some time up. And today, you can't take that away from the two-time Gold Glove winner, Patrick Bailey. We all know he's struggling. He couldn't even get a bunt down. I mean, he's bunting balls up where the chest is, and there's no way you're going to lay a bunt down there. So I think the offensive woes with Patrick Bailey are affecting him. I really do. And I think with Susac going right up behind him, getting base hit, doubles, I think that's affecting him a little bit. But do you divide the time up, Alan? Do you give Susac a little bit more time? Or do you possibly put Susac in a little bit more as the season continues?
I think you start out dividing the time because it's been a process, right? First it was, hey, he's giving Patrick Bailey a day off. Then it kind of escalated into Patrick Bailey's not really going to hit right-handed very often anymore. We're just going to go with Susac there. And then, like you said, a couple days ago, Tony Vitello said, yeah, we're probably going to, split this up a little bit. Again, Zach Manassian on KNBR recently said he kind of views the catchers as a dual running back situation. And, you can divvy up, the carries in different ways depending on how much you like your number one running back. But I look at it like that too. And I would just go 50-50 for now because we've seen Patrick Bailey, get hot at times and, the walk-offs and things. So you can't give up on him yet. I think the first thing it does is it organically removes the awkward conversation that was floating during the offseason of, hey, are you going to continue to switch hit, right? Because, I mean, Bill, if you're going to switch hit, let's make sure you got one side taken care of first before you try to hit on both sides. And I think having Daniel Susac allowed them to say, hey, you can hit right-handed in practice if you want, but as of right now, we're just going to go with him. Now taking it the next step, and I believe, recently Daniel Susac had his first start against a right-handed pitcher. I wouldn't completely give up on Patrick Bailey. I saw this stat that he's stolen, I think it's 40 balls that were out of the zone as strikes, but they were not challenged just based on how he framed them. So there's still definitely a lot of positive sides of having Patrick Bailey. I would go 50-50 for now. I wouldn't do too much because it's still a super small sample size with Daniel Susac. Let's see what he does with more ABs after that ridiculous batting average comes back to life a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to see. And I liked how he got getting in the game today, and he ended up going into a lot of pressure innings behind the plate. I think it gives him confidence. And I talked about this yesterday on the post-game show about Susac catching Logan Webb. He's got to get in there against these top-line pitchers. And he caught 2 wins from Robbie Ray. That's why I think possibly we're going to see him tomorrow with Robbie Ray. So as we finish up with Alan Stiles, let's look again at this game tomorrow. Miles Mikolas is just getting lit up. And then you look on the other side, Robbie Ray, I think, has been the most consistent pitcher in all his starts so far. What do you see in tomorrow's game?
Yeah, and again, that provides an opportunity to make that decision because you have a righty in Mikolas. So do you say, all right, well, every time there's a righty, we're going to stick with we're going to stick with Patrick Bailey, or for the second time now, Bill, do you say no, it's a Daniel Susac day. So that I think that'll be telling because that is heading towards that 50-50 split that we've seen. As far as offensively, I expect the Giants to take care of business. And maybe this is the worst place to be, because you might get let down. But I expect them to take care of business. You're looking at I know it's early, but 0-3, Mikolas is 11-4 ERA. Yep. I mean, you gotta smell blood in the water a little bit if you're the Giants. And I saw this clip of Tony Vitello when the game ended, and he's a fiery guy. I feel like they have an understanding where even if they don't win tomorrow, it won't be for a lack of energy and effort. But I'm expecting them to go out there, and take care of business. And I think that this could be, as we know, the Dodgers, I call them the Smurfs, but as the Dodgers get ready to head into this first series of the season, the Giants can head in there with some good momentum.
Well, Alan, it was a pleasure bringing you on today to talk Giants baseball. Looking forward to doing more on the extra inning post-game shows as the season progresses. You do a great job up in Sacramento. And once again, thanks for your time tonight on a Saturday.
Bill, I really appreciate you having me on and the kind words, and I can't wait to do it again. Talk to you soon.
Thanks so much. That was Alan Stiles. Of course, he's up in Sacramento on Sports 1140. Give him a listen if you're up in Sacramento. Does a great job following the Giants and other sports. And what a fantastic interview that was, and I appreciate his time. All right, we're going to take a quick break, come back with more on the Extra Inning Post-Game Show. We'll be right back right here on the Sports Leader.
Express Plumbing, a family-owned business, has been servicing the Bay Area for 34 years. Express Plumbing specializes in residential and commercial plumbing, sewer repair, drain cleaning, pipe replacements, vacuum excavation and extraction, water heater installation, and more. Express Plumbing offers 24/7 emergency service. Call 650-341-2131 or visit the website expressplumbing.com. There is no job too small or too big for us.
Do you have old sports cards, memorabilia, comic books, or toys sitting in an attic gathering dust? You want to turn those into cash today? Man Cave Memorabilia pays cash for your collections, but also offers consignment services through their unique partnership with Golden Auctions. If you need a free appraisal or you're ready to sell, head over to mancavememorabilia.com to get started. Oh, and tell the guys Bill Laskey sent you.
Handcrafted in the Bay Area of California, Birdman Bats offer some of the finest, highest quality wood baseball bats and gloves in the world. Stand out this season on or off the diamond with our infinite options of customization at birdmanbats.com. Turn your visions into reality with our online bat and glove builder, and check out all the other gear we offer as well. All available at birdmanbats.com. Birdman Bats. Chirp, chirp.
Thatcher's Gourmet Popcorn, a Bay Area legend since 1983. Small batch, handcrafted, sweet, savory, chocolatey. The kind of popcorn that makes every game night feel like opening day at the ballpark. And let me tell you, friends will fight over it. They will not want to share. A classic Bay Area problem. Step up your snack game. Go to thatcherspopcorn.com. That's THATCHERS popcorn.com for a 10% discount on your first order. A Bay Area legend.
This is KNBR Extra Innings with former Giants right-hander Bill Laskey.
Sponsored by Lenardi's Markets of the Bay Area. Quite simply, the best.
Hear him on your Apple HomePod by saying play KNBR. Play KNBR.
Pitch to Ramos, a swing and a drive hit down the left field line towards the corner. That one is way back. It is gone! Elliot Ramos is homered for the second day in a row. This one a 2-run shot down the left field line, and we're all tied at 5 here in the 6th inning.
All right, back on the Extra Inning post-game show. Elliot Ramos hit that in the 6th inning after Jung-Hoo Lee got a base hit. Elliot hit an 0-2 slider off the lefty Parker. He nailed another one, 380 feet, 0-2. A nice mistake for his second home run in 2 games. And he's on fire, no question. And let him keep hitting in that 7 spot. A nice disguise or get guy on base and then let him do his power. But what a nice job Elliot Ramos has come out of his slump. All right, let's get to the phone lines, 415-808-KNBR. If you want to get on a call, let's go to Daniel. He's in San Francisco. A good win today. Daniel, what'd you think of it?
I loved it. It was awesome, but when I saw Walker today, I'm kind of wondering what's going on with him. He's way better than what he's showing. This Walker is like he's top-notch pitcher.
Well, he struggled a little bit. He got in trouble in that 9th inning with the first hitter hitting a double, and when he almost got out of it, the 0-2 pitch was a slider down out of the zone. He waved to it, got a base hit to center field. When he did get going in the 10th inning, when he got bases loaded and got out of it, that was what Ryan Walker we've known in the past years for. He can throw, and he's throwing 95, 96. He's got good velocity, a good breaking ball. Is he your closer? Is he not your closer? I don't think they've realized who the closer is yet. And today, Caleb Killian sure showed that he can throw in those high leverage innings.
Yeah, well, Walker's got to get back and attack again, because Walker is that guy. He is amazing. Watch.
We'll hope so, Daniel. What'd you think of Elliot Ramos getting hot? You just heard the little home run call. He's been hitting the ball real well in Washington.
He is. And I also know that he has another new batting coach, too, right?
Well, he started off slow, no question. But, when you look at his numbers coming in here, the numbers weren't that great. He was hitting the same thing with Jung-Hoo Lee. Both of them were struggling right in the around 200 number. And now he's up to 260, hitting the ball well, solid hits. When you look at what he's done in this series, he's 4 for 9. And those numbers you can't hide with 2 home runs.
He stopped chasing. He's only hitting what comes inside the box.
You're absolutely right. Producing. Great point. And you're absolutely right. He has. And when you do that and put the ball in play, he's so strong, just like the home run ball he hit yesterday, straight away center field. And he nailed that one today. And I loved what Dave Fleming said on the TV side. He said, here's a guy that sat on the bench and wasn't playing, and now today they're intentionally walking him because he's so hot. And that's what changes the game of baseball from a hitter to a pitcher. Things get going, and next thing you know, you're struggling. Next thing you know, everything clicks. And this is what's happening with Ramos right now.
Okay. Yeah, this is what's going to happen with Walker. I mean, Walker's amazing. I can't wait to see this guy do what he does.
All right, Daniel, well, thanks for the call. Great time and a good win. So we'll talk more as the season progresses. Tomorrow, of course, I'm back on with Extra Inning post-game show. Got a great interview tomorrow. Of course, when the Montreal Expos changed over to the Washington Nationals, all the statistics came from when the Expos were there. And I interviewed Steve Rogers, and it's a two-part interview tomorrow. You'll hear it on a post-game show. 129 complete games in 13 years, 37 shutouts. He was a 5-time All-Star. He's in the Montreal Expo Hall of Fame, and he's also a member of the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. Just a great interview. Two pitchers, myself and him, talking a lot about pitching, going after hitters. We faced each other a few times when I was with the Giants and he was with the Expos. A great, great interview. You don't want to miss that tomorrow. But coming up next, I sat down with Killian, and we did this on Wednesday after he got into that game against Cincinnati where he walked the first hitter, and then he gave up a base hit to De La Cruz, and then he was first and second and nobody out, and we kind of walk him into that, and he kind of talks about how he got out of that. But I want you to understand where Killian came from. He got drafted by the Giants. He got traded for the Chris Bryant trade to the Cubs. It just didn't work out with the Cubs. He goes free agent. The Giants pick him back up. He's back in an orange and black uniform, and he is so happy he's back with the Giants. So sit back and relax. A great interview coming up with Killian right here on the Extra Inning Postgame Show.
Your financial journey is unique, and Pettinelli Financial Partners is here to help you navigate it with confidence. So whether you're building your future or securing your retirement, their team provides lifelong personal guidance every step of the way. Start planning your financial journey today. Learn more at PettinelliFP.com. The financial consultants at Pettinelli Financial Partners are registered representatives with and securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advice offered through Stratus Wealth Partners, a registered investment advisor. Stratus Wealth Partners and Pettinelli Financial Partners are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Looking for solar and storage but thought you missed the tax credit? Think again. With PG&E rates climbing, Golden Bear Solar and Wildfire Defense System of Los Gatos is here to help you lock in the 30% federal tax credit that's still available. Our premier solar and battery systems don't just slash bills. They keep your lights on during blackouts. Protect your home and your wallet before the next rate hike. Contact us at goldenbearsolar.com.
Pralines and Cream, Tin Roof Sundae, Rocky Road. These are just a few of the Lenardi's Market's customer favorites. Lenardi's old-fashioned gourmet ice cream, smooth, creamy, and delicious. Lenardi's ice cream is made locally with fresh quality ingredients. Lenardi's ice cream is the perfect end to a great meal or after a Giants win. Stop by one of Lenardi's 8 locations and treat yourself to your favorite flavor. San Bruno, Burlingame, Belmont, Los Gatos, 2 in San Jose, 1 in Bascom, 1 on Meridian, Walnut Creek, and Danville. Lenardi's, quite simply the best.
KNBR Extra Innings with Bill Laskey keeps the postgame rolling live right here.
Sponsored by Lenardi's Markets of the Bay Area. Quite simply, the best.
On KNBR 104.5 FM and 680 AM. The sports leader.
Welcome back to the Extra Inning postgame show with Bill Laskey as we travel to Cincinnati to talk to my guest today. He wears number 45 for the San Francisco Giants. Let's welcome in Caleb Killian. Caleb, how are you?
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, Caleb, I guess the phrase pitcher's best friend is a double play. Yesterday you got in a jam and you got out of it with a nice double play ball. Let's go through it a little bit. You end up walking Matt McClain on some really nice sliders just underneath. A little base hit by Ellie Dela Cruz in center field. Next thing you know, you got first and second and nobody out. What are you thinking to get out of it?
Yeah, not ideal situation, especially with a leadoff walk. You don't want to do that. But, yeah, thankfully got that play. We got a good middle infield. So that double play was really nice. They seemed like they were really patient. We kind of knew that going into the game that they're
well, you come in facing 2, 3, 4, 5, and Stewart had already hit a home run by Robbie Ray. And you kind of went after him with some gas, 97, 98 cross seamers, and you really blew him away. The 4-pitch mix you had, the knuckle curveball, of course, the fastball, the sinker, and the slider. 4 pitches you come at hitters with. You comfortable with throwing those pitches at any time?
Yeah, you kind of have to be at this point. You got to stay competitive. You can't just throw things in there anymore. They hit mistakes. That's what I learned that last week.
In Baltimore, you did the little hanging slider, but you come back really quick. And the knuckle curveball especially, it's got a nice 12-6 turn on it. You throw it with a knuckle on your finger. When did you start throwing that pitch?
I started throwing that after I got traded to the Cubs. I always had a curveball. I've thrown it my whole life. I just turned it into a spike curve when I got to the Cubs, and I think it adds a little bit more depth, and it's kind of been a pitch that I've thrown a little bit slower in the past. So this year, I actually got rid of it at the end of last year when I became a reliever, and I went 4-seam, sinker, slider. And then this year I missed the curveball, so I wanted to bring it back and just throw it a little bit harder. So that's kind of been what I've been doing, and it's been one of my best pitches right now.
That voice you hear in the Extra Inning postgame show all the way from Cincinnati, Caleb Killian joining me. Let's go back in time a little bit. You were born in Anaheim. You grew up in Texas. When did your family relocate to Texas?
Yeah, I was born in Anaheim, but I grew up in Texas. I wasn't even in California for a year. So about 1997 is when we moved to Texas.
Well, you ended up going to high school at Flower Mound High School, but you ended up going to Texas Tech. And this was really a turning point in your career. Why did you choose Texas Tech at that time?
Yeah, it's a similar reason why I chose the Giants, too. I like the coaches a lot. I believe in the staff. And also we're in Texas, so I like the school already. But,
well, you started as a reliever, and then you became a starter at Texas Tech. You got drafted by the Orioles when you were 21 years old, 2018. You refused to sign with them, and you took a chance on yourself. What did you feel at that time?
Yep. I'm really glad I made that decision as well. We got to go to Omaha twice, so I got to go back to college and go to Omaha for the College World Series, and that's just an experience that I'm really glad I didn't miss out on. So, chose to go back to school and then ended up signing the next year with the Giants, and I'm happy about that decision too.
You sure did. In 2019, the 8th round came around, and the San Francisco Giants chose you, and you ended up signing. Other teams interested? Were other teams talking to you after you didn't sign with the Orioles?
Yeah, I would say most of the teams will come out and meet with you. You'll do like your surveys and stuff. But yeah, it's all up to the teams to decide who wants you the most.
Caleb Killian joining me on the Extra Inning Post-Game Show. So you signed with the San Francisco Giants in 2019. You go to rookie ball. You end up playing for Giants Orange. You did well there, and you move up to Salem Kaiser. You did well there, too. Only 4 innings, but you were moving up. All of a sudden, 2020 comes and COVID hits. What did you do in that year where you had to put the ball down?
Yeah, that was gritty. I was working out at like a Little League park. I was all over the place. I ended up moving back to Lubbock for a little bit of the time too, working out in the garage, my strength coach's garage, with a couple other guys that I played with. So it was actually a pretty good experience, and I was thrown into a net a lot. So there's a little strike zone on it, and I think that might have helped with my command a lot because I came back and had one of my best seasons.
Well, you kept active. I think that's the whole key on that, because a lot of, players didn't know what to do, how to work out, but you kept active. You kept your arms strong. Did you think mentally you were going to come back out of this?
Out of the 2020?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going to happen. You don't know if the season's canceled for sure. And then you just kind of got to stay ready. And then I think eventually we found out that we weren't going to play at all. So just getting ready for the next year, 21.
And it worked out well. You got all the way up to Richmond. You were 3-2. You had 11 starts, 2.71 earned run average. It was good, going good. 63 innings. You're throwing the ball extremely well. 8 walks, 64 strikeouts. And all of a sudden, July 30th came around. Were you watching the trade deadline? Were you have any attention to it? Did you even think about your name being traded?
A little bit. But no, I wasn't expecting it to be me. That kind of came out of nowhere. I was watching a little bit, but I think I didn't get the call until like 3 minutes after the deadline. I was about to throw a bullpen. I was like, oh, I guess it's all done. And then I get a call from Haynes, and he tells me that I'm traded, so I couldn't throw my bullpen. I had to get my apartment packed up, and I moved over to Tennessee the next day.
Yeah, it was a quick move, and it was the last move of the trade deadline. I think everybody here in San Francisco was wondering what Farhan was going to do, and he ends up picking up Chris Bryant, a great move for the Giants at that time. But again, you as well as Alexander Cannaro get traded. And, when your first mindset is man, I got traded. I'm doing well here. What happened? What did your thoughts come to when the Cubs called you?
I didn't really know what to expect. It was all new to me, the whole experience. I wasn't expecting it. So, I didn't know if it was a good thing or bad thing. I had people tell me it was all good, and it ended up being a really good thing for my career.
Caleb Killian joining me for a few more minutes on the Extra Inning Postgame Show. You move over to the Cubs. You ended up getting called up in the big leagues in 2022. You ended up throwing a second game of a doubleheader against St. Louis. Expectations were high in your mind. How did you feel getting called up? Was it an exciting time for you and your family?
That was super exciting. Yeah, the debut against the Cardinals at Wrigley in the rain, like it rained a little bit there. So it was just a really cool experience. My family got to come out. It was a lot of fun. Something I'll remember forever.
Yeah, Caleb, so you end up throwing with the Cubs. You get bounced around the next couple of years. You ended up coming up and down here and there. What were some of the thoughts that they were telling you about what's next for you in the bullpen or as a starting pitcher?
Yeah, I ended up doing like the hybrid role where I was kind of starting in AAA, and then I got some starts in the big leagues too, but I also got my first relief appearance out of the in the big leagues as well.
Yeah.
And then I kind of started doing a little bit of both. And then unfortunately some injuries happened. So kind of sticking with the reliever role now.
And so it ends up where the Cubs didn't want you anymore. They outrighted you, and sure enough, you become a free agent. The Giants ended up signing you. Other teams interested, no doubt. Did you have to throw for anybody? Was there any kind of expectations there for any team to take a look at you?
No, I actually didn't have to do that. I wasn't sure how I was going to go. I was honestly just hoping the team would pick me up this offseason, and we had a good bit actually reach out. So it was all about kind of eliminating them, picking the ones that I wanted to go with. And yeah, the Giants were the last team I met with. I got to meet all the staff. The Zoom call went really well, and I decided this is where I want to be.
Well, what's really cool about this story is you signed with the Giants with expectations of getting to the big leagues, and it derailed for you a little bit. Now you come back into spring training wearing the Giants uniform in big league camp. That had to be exciting for you.
Oh, yeah, it was super exciting. A lot of familiar faces, some guys I've played with, some guys that on the staff that are still around. So it was cool and it felt comfortable.
Well, it was a long time in spring training. Every outing you had to be looked at. Every outing you had to make sure people had eyes on you. Was that pressure in your own mind, or were you kind of relieved that you were back with the Giants?
I was relieved, and yeah, I think prayer takes away a lot of the pressure, and I was just kind of trusting God's plan.
And it worked out. When did they find out? When did you find out that you made the club? Was it all the way back, all the way when you came up to Oracle, or did they kind of tell you toward the end of spring training?
Yeah, I want to say it was the day before opening day. So I was already out here in Oracle. We played, was that Mexico? Team Mexico team. And then it was right after that. So it was pretty cool though. And then I got to experience the whole opening day, which is awesome. Yeah. That was a cool experience.
It sure is, especially on that third base line. You got your uniform on. You end up pitching against the New York Yankees. That was your first outing, a third of an inning. Excited again. I keep throwing that word out there because it's a word that no doubt you were definitely feeling it, coming into the ball game at Oracle. How did you like warming up? Did you think about it coming in? What were some of your thoughts?
Oh, yeah. Just kind of staying ready, and whenever I get the call, just go out there and attack. But yeah, you don't know when you're going in. It's kind of a cool part of being a reliever. So it was cool to get the call and get into the game first opening day.
A couple more minutes with Caleb Killian on the Extra Inning postgame show. So it's a young career for you, but there's a player on your team you never got out. Do you know who that was?
A player on my team that I never got out?
Yeah, as a pitcher. No idea, huh? Luis Ariz is 3 for 3 off you.
Hey, I believe it.
I thought I'd throw that one in there for you because you haven't been in the big leagues that long, but I was looking up numbers and names, and I'm like, there he is, a teammate of Caleb's, 3 for 3 off you, but don't mention it to him because he'll rub it in on you.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I don't have to face him anymore. He did bring it up. He's like, hey, he wasn't sure where he'd seen me before, but he's like, I think I know I faced you. Like, what team were you on? So he knows. He's probably just trying to rub it in a little bit.
That's pretty good. Well, Caleb, as we end up, you and I are going to be etched in stone in the Giants history books. You know why?
I don't.
We both wore number 45. My rookie year, I wore number 45. Now you're taking 45 over. There's a lot of outs in that number. I want to continue to see that every time you get on that mound.
All right. Well, me too.
Well, Caleb, it was a pleasure meeting you. Continued success, and keep it going, buddy.
Will do. Thank you.
That was Caleb Killian on the Extra Inning postgame show. More coming up right here on KNBR, the sports leader. Coming to support the Orange and Black? Book your stay at the Hanlery Union Square Hotel in the heart of the city by the bay. Call 800-995-HUSH or go online at hanlery.com and enter Laskey in the promo code and get parking included. That's 800-995-HUSH. Book your stay at the Hanlery Union Square Hotel.
Think WAG Hotels is just for dogs? Think again. Your cat can enjoy their own private retreat completely separate from our dog guests. No barking, no chaos, just cozy rooms, loving caregivers, and round-the-clock care designed for feline guests. You'll even get real-time updates through the WAG Hotels app, so you'll always know your cat is comfortable and cared for. Because peace of mind for you means a comfortable stay for them. Visit waghotels.com to reserve their stay.
Express Plumbing, a family-owned business, has been servicing the Bay Area for 34 years. Express Plumbing specializes in residential and commercial plumbing, sewer repair, drain cleaning, pipe replacements, vacuum excavation and extraction, water heater installation, and more. Express Plumbing offers 24/7 emergency service. Call 650-341-2131 or visit the website expressplumbing.com. There is no job too small or too big for us.
Bill is back.
Fired up, bringing it, all excited.
This is KNBR Extra Innings with Bill Laskey.
Sponsored by Lenardi's Markets of the Bay Area. Quite simply, the best.
Listen on your Google Home smart speaker by saying play KNBR.
All right, back on the Extra Inning post-game show as we wind down a Saturday show. And I want to thank my two guests. Alan Stiles, you can hear him up in Sacktown on Sports 1140. Does a great job from 2 to 6. Thank him for his time today. And Caleb Killian, of course, getting to know him a little bit. And what a performance he put on today, going 2 innings, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts for his first Major League Baseball win. So 2 good interviews. If you miss either one of those, you can go on all KNBR podcasts, and they'll be up there. I want to thank my producer today, Cole LaPelt, did a great job. And all you callers, once again, it's always a pleasure talking Giants baseball right here in the Extra Inning post-game show. Tomorrow, 10:35, first pitch, right here on KNBR. Robbie Ray takes the hill for the Giants. He's 2-2 with a 2.4 earned run average. Going against the right-hander, Miles Mikolas, 0-3 with 11.4 earned run average. I'm saying it right, 11.4. He's pitched 15 2/3 innings. He's given up 25 hits and 20 earned runs. So the Giants have to finish out this sweep of the Nationals tomorrow with Robbie Ray on the hill. I'll be doing the Extra Inning post-game show right after. Steve Rogers will be joining me, a great name from Montreal Expos days. All right, we're going to close it out. You have a great rest of Saturday night. We'll do it again tomorrow. And you know what? Let's try to win. Let's have a win Sunday, a Sunday fun day. For Bill Laskey, have a great rest of the night, and more coming up right here on KNBR, the Sports Leader.